All right, there we go. So this is our copy and tech call. So if you guys have questions in regards to copy pretty much covers just about all of creation, whether it be ads or headlines or the hook, the big idea, any parts of your sales funnels, your offers, any of that kind of stuff. If you want help, this is where we'll be focused on that. So one thing I wanted to kind of bring out, because a lot of people toil over copy, thinking that it's got to be perfect and it's got to be good English, and it's not. When you're doing copywriting, it's not the same as writing in school. This is more real life. It's language, and we don't always talk and speak like our teachers would have liked us to. And especially when your avatar speaks a particular language, you want to make sure that you mirror and match that. So one of the things that makes this kind of easy is if you think about how you would actually talk to someone if you were sitting next to them in a social environment. So you wouldn't hard sell them. You wouldn't do a lot of the stuff that a lot of us do in our copy. And that's what makes copy ineffective. Because just like none of us like a pushy salesperson on a car lot, nobody likes that same thing in copy. And the difference is in copy, there's no resistance to turning it off. Like if they're on your sales page and they don't like what they're seeing, there is no resistance. It's like they have no reason to stay. So, with the car salesman, if he drives you off, he can always chase you. But you can't do that with a landing page. A landing page isn't going to chase anybody. It's either going to work or it's going to fail. So the biggest thing in the copy is to make sure that you are speaking to the person as much as possible, and you're speaking their language, and you're not offending them. You're basically trying to create music to their ears. So think about it. And again, throw English and throw grammar and throw all that stuff out the window, and think more about what's going to resonate with them. Because when they read that, they're going to hear that. They're going to hear your voice in those words. So if they like what they hear, they're much more apt to bond with you and create trust and like you. Now, you also want to do the same thing in your videos. A lot of the copy, we're obviously writing copy for videos. When we speak, that's our copywriting. When we're speaking in our videos, that should all be fairly well scripted. Now, not to say that you're going to be reading it like a script, but hopefully you will know your content good enough that it will be structured and come off like a script. So that's what we want to get to. Now, the most important thing, and I kind of started off with this, a lot of people toil over every word. They will sit there and they'll spend forever, and they get stuck in the third line of the fourth paragraph, and it's not about that. Don't get stuck there. The two biggest things that is going to affect your conversion is going to be your lead in, your headline. And the reason that that's important is because if the headline fails, they won't consume the content, and you're done. You're game over. So your headline has to work. Your headline has to be effective. That has to draw them in so they actually consume your copy, consume your copywriting, whether it be written or whether it be a video or an audio or however you're delivering it. That is the key important thing. The other thing that is of key importance to the conversion is your offer. So you've got to really look at the beginning and the end. Your headline is on the front, and actually in front of your headline is going to be your ad, and that is an extension of your headline. So whatever your ad is, when they hit the landing page, it should reiterate that. So your headline, think of that as an extension of the ad, because when they click from the ad, Ryan Dice's team calls this ad scent. You want to make sure that it smells the same, the scent is the same on the ad as it is on the landing page. They want to make sure that that scent flows through your campaign. So they call it ad scent. So make sure that your ad scent flows through your ad campaign. So again, that basically in English, that means your headline is an extension of your ad, whatever your ad may be. So those things on the front end are like the keys to the kingdom to get people onto your site. Next is, your actual content, but then your offer. And your offer is the second biggest piece of conversion. You can have poor sales copy and still convert like crazy if your offer is good and your lead-in is good. Because what people will do, if they're not interested in your copy, what they'll do is they'll skim. When somebody is interested to begin with and they click through, either they're going to engage your copy and they're going to really eat it up and like it, or they're going to skim through it. And basically when they skim, they're going to hit the headlines, they're going to hit the highlights, they're looking for the offer. They're like, cut to the chase, what's the bottom line, what's this going to cost me? So if your offer is rock solid and your beginning is rock solid, the middle can be worthless. So seriously, don't spend a tremendous amount of time on the middle. Yeah, you've got formulas. I've given you guys great formulas for creating the middle. You want to focus on the benefits. You want to three-dimensionalize the benefits. You want to figure out what their belief system is based on their avatar work that you did in the analysis section. Those beliefs become their objections. So you have the formula to overcome the objections and copy of the claim, proof, benefit statements. So that's how you create and formulate your copy, is based on the benefits, the timeline, and the belief system that they have. And remember, they're going to have beliefs in themselves. You're going to have to overcome that objection that they can't do it. And again, claim, proof, benefit statement there. They're going to have beliefs about their experience, like maybe they've tried this kind of stuff already, and you're going to have to overcome that objection. They're going to have beliefs about other vendors in the market. They're going to have, they'll have all these different beliefs, and that's what your copy basically deals with. But you want to focus more on the skimmers, the ones that are going to skim over that and just go right to the offer. Because you'll have, believe it or not, you'll have a fair amount of people that will do that, especially people in business. If you're catering to a business audience, they don't have the time. Like when I get onto a sales page, I'll do that. I'll skim to the end just to see, hey, I want to cut to the chase. What is the offer? Give me the scoop right now. So I'm one of those guys where I'm going to skim to the end and see, is this a fit for me? And then if it looks good, then I'll go back and I might consume the content, make sure that the value is there before I make the purchase. But if the offer isn't good on the end, guess what? I'm done. I'm off. So even though the headline was great, it got me on there. I skim to the end. If the offer is great, I'll go back and I'll consume some content, make sure the value is there, and then I'll make my purchase. And I think as far as like from a business person standpoint, I think that's fairly similar. A lot of the people I've talked to in business, that's pretty much exactly what they do. If they see something that's great, they'll take a look, they'll cut to the chase. If the end game looks great, then they'll go back and try and build the value. See, is this actually worth the purchase? But if they get to the end and it's not, game over, done. You've tilted the pinball machine. The buzzer sounded and the lights went out. So that's what you want to focus on. So again, I've seen and heard from a lot of people that are toiling over that copywriting section. And the thing that will make it easy is if you create your beginning and you create your ending, and you do that first, And then you come back for the middle and you make a list of what are the common objections. And then you try and build your copy around those objections with as much claim-proof benefit statements as you can to create that. The other thing is you want to focus heavily on what's in it for them. You know, I see a lot of people that spend a ton of time building themselves up, talking about themselves. Nobody really cares about that. You want to try and focus on getting that out of the way up front if you need to do that, but don't spend a bunch of time in there when you're in a sales pitch trying to talk about how great your product is and how great you are and all of this other stuff. People don't care. They care about themselves. They care about what it does for them. So three-dimensionalizing of the benefits is really a game changer. I think that's a concept that a lot of people have not heard of. I've been doing a lot of webinars and stuff recently, and when I start talking about those concepts, it really blows people's minds. They're like, oh my God, that is so much better than what I've been taught in the past. And it really is. It's very powerful. When you can three-dimensionalize and you can make a benefit come to life, because most everybody generally benefits, you hear the benefit. That's 99%. You will just hear the benefit. And sometimes that's good enough. But when you can hear it, see it, and feel it, that takes you to a whole new realm. That makes your copy not only compelling, it really pulls at the heartstrings. When you're focused on what your prospect actually wants and you can get them to hear it, see it, and feel the outcome, that is a game changer. That is going to make people, that's going to create that desire and demand for your product. The other thing about copy too that you should be crafting and building into this is a thing that I call setting the buying criteria. And this is really powerful. I've seen a lot of this lately going on in the internet marketing space. Is you're basically creating a marketing program that is an education-based marketing. So you're teaching somebody how to get their desired outcome through your marketing. And you're giving them actionable things that they can do along the way for free to build their confidence that they can actually get to the end of the rainbow. So again, when if you have a prospect that has a belief that they can't do it, and you give them a simple little task to do and they get it done and they feel that accomplishment, that in itself may restore that belief that, wow, I can do this. I can get my desired outcome. So in your process, anything like that you can do is absolutely phenomenal. So do that. The other thing I was talking about there is setting the buying criteria. When you're educating them in how to get what they want, you want to educate them in how to buy the products or service to do so. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're telling them exactly how to buy it or how not to buy it. Like if somebody's interested in, let's say, I'll just pick something like long-term care insurance. And if that's the thing, you want to make sure that you give them like the 5 things to look at before you buy that long-term care insurance. These are the 5 things that are really important. And as you're crafting those 5 things, you want to make sure that at least one of those 5 things can only be gotten from you. That comes down to your unique mechanism. You want to make sure that whatever you buy includes this unique mechanism. And if that's your unique mechanism and no one else has it, when they go to shop for that product, you have literally eliminated all of the competition. When you're able to eliminate the competition, you're no longer in a price war. They're no longer shopping for price. Price is not the criteria by which they're going to buy. The criteria by which they're going to buy is the bar that you're going to set for them and what they need to know before they purchase this thing, whatever it might be. So it's like, you're setting up a puzzle, and the only place that their puzzle pieces are going to fit is in your frame. When they try and plug those puzzle pieces into another vendor, they're not going to fit. And subconsciously, they're not going to feel right about purchasing from that vendor because they've been forewarned. So when you do that, you become that voice of authority in the market. It will drive them back to you every time, because people are going to shop. A lot of times, especially if they're in the unaware state. If they're in the unaware state and you have just activated them, you've reticularly activated them to see the thing that you're offering, they are now going to be looking for it. And it's naturally going to appear. Even if they're not physically hunting it, they're going to see it. Because a lot of times what we offer, there's other similar things in the marketplace. So they're going to start seeing those. So they're going to start shopping. And you want to make sure when they start shopping that they're shopping by the criteria that you've taught them. That way you can be certain that they'll always come back to you. So that's kind of the big pieces to copy, is making sure that you do those things. You address the objections, you set the buying criteria, you educate them in how to get the result that they want, and you make sure that you add the benefits in there three-dimensionalized so they can actually feel the results of getting it. They can hear it, see it, feel it. And when they hear it, see, and feel it, guess what? Their heart wants it. And now the only thing you've got to do is you've got to get the head out of the way. You've got to convince and seduce the heart, or actually rather you seduce the heart and then you have to convince the head. The head is what's going to come in and bring logic into things and say, no, we're not getting that because I don't believe that we can get the results. So the stuff that you're going to do with the claim proof benefit, that's to convince the head. The three-dimensionalized benefits is to seduce the heart. So you want to make sure in your copy you're doing both of those things. You're talking to the heart with benefits and promises and outcomes. And you're convincing the head with the claim, the proof, and then the benefit on the end for the heart. When you can convince the head and seduce the heart, a sale is imminent. So that's kind of for as far as copy goes, that's the important stuff is your copy. And again, the two key components to that is the very beginning, your lead in, and the end where you have the offer. You want to make sure that you craft a really solid offer in this. And the offer includes a lot of things. The offer will include, it will re-include your list of benefits. Some people will put features in, but I really don't like to focus on features. I like to focus purely on benefits because most people don't buy by features. You know, depending on what your product or service is, the features are probably irrelevant. So focus in more on the benefits than the features. So you're going to need to reiterate those at the time you do your offer. You're also going to have a list of deliverables of what they're actually going to get. Then you're going to have a list of bonuses. Now, to make a really solid list of bonuses, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your bonuses relate to their desired outcome. And the bonuses should either get them what they want faster or cheaper or even free. Say, you know, you would need this extra thing to get the result. I'm going to give it to you for free. You know, and then you're going to say the benefit of this thing that you're getting as a bonus for free is it's going to get you results faster. And then you can go into the benefit and you can do the three-dimensionalized benefit. And now that bonus is really, really a bonus. I see so many people that will load you up with a bunch of crap bonuses just for the fact that they want to load you up with bonuses. And to me, that totally turns me off because it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm trying to do. And all it does is sidetrack you with a bunch of stuff. And quite honestly, I'm going to tell you why they do that. And you might not like it, but this is the truth and the reality. When their product or service doesn't work, they need a bunch of stuff to sidetrack you so you don't see that. They're really trying to confuse the head. They're trying to show all this stuff, and they're trying to convince the head of the value. But the truth is that if the product itself or the service itself delivered the result, you don't need to load a bunch of value and benefits on top of it. The value is going to be enough in the thing that they want. So that's why you see these internet marketers, they will pile thousands of dollars worth of worthless crap on top of a bonus because they're afraid that the offer itself isn't worth the value. So they're trying to overbloat the value so you don't question it. So, that's something that you may or may not leverage to your favor. I personally think it's not the right way to go. I think your product or service should have enough value, and it should be unique enough. It should have a unique mechanism that is guaranteed to deliver the result, and you don't need to do that. The other thing that you need in your offer is a guarantee. And the guarantee, this is for the head. The heart doesn't care about guarantees. The head is what cares about the guarantees. The head is like, you have to make it a risk reversal. You have to make it no risk on their part. And then that soothes the head. The head's like, okay, well, I'm going to take this chance. And it's not really a risk because it's a complete 100% risk reversal. Now, you see some people that actually will give a guarantee that's like a 200% money back guarantee. That's even beyond a risk reversal. Now, I've talked to a few people that have done this, and they're not at all afraid to give a 200% money back guarantee on a particular product that they're doing, because they say what it does, it gets 10 times more sales with one person that'll take advantage of it. So if you look at the math, yeah, maybe you're going to have to lose money on one person, but you're going to get 9 more that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So is it worth it? Yeah, the math says yes, that's worth it. So don't worry about your guarantees. Don't worry, because they're going to get you more sales than they're going to cost you in refunds. And Perry Belcher, he's like, phenomenal at copywriting and offer creation, and he makes just outrageous guarantees. And he has always told me, he said, if you don't get at least 10% returns, you're not selling hard enough. Now, I've never experienced that. Apparently, I have never sold hard enough. I get very, very few returns. And that may actually have something to do with the value of what you're selling as well. Perry sells some stuff that is of questionable value. So because he's so good at selling it, that's probably why he's getting 10% returns. But he says the higher the return ratio, the better, because that means more people are trying it, which means more people are keeping it. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, sales is all about arithmetic. So you want to make sure that you're watching your numbers. And if you're making a claim and a guarantee that is costing you money, then you want to get rid of it. But I think based on everything I've seen, every marketer I've talked to, when I talk to them about their guarantees and their returns and the value of that, every one of them knows their numbers, and every one of them has said the same thing to me. Returns are not a problem. If you don't get returns, not enough people are testing and trying your offer by buying. So that is a big problem. If enough people aren't getting it, you want enough people to buy your product that you have a few that say, yeah, this isn't for me, I'm going to take advantage of the return policy. So I know that goes against things. Now make sure also that your return policy is legitimate. Make sure that you are returning, because what you don't want is you don't want chargebacks. Chargebacks are a bad thing. Returns are not a bad thing. Chargebacks are a bad thing. The reason that you would get a chargeback is if you make a guarantee that you will refund money and then you make it difficult on the person to get the refund. That will lead to chargebacks. If you ignore people, if you don't do proper customer service, that will get chargebacks. Do anything you possibly can to eliminate chargebacks. Like, for instance, I get less than one chargeback per year. If you look, I've got a 25-year track record with merchant services, and I've got less than, actually way less than one per year. Because over 25 years, I think I've probably got maybe five chargebacks in 25 years. So make sure that you do everything possible to make sure that your customer service stands behind your offers and your guarantees. So the other thing about it is price. When you're talking about your offer, price is an important issue. You want to make sure that you test the price. A lot of people leave a lot of money on the table because they're not charging enough, and they haven't tested that. So one of the things that you might want to do is try selling the same product, or maybe even just changing the name of it slightly so people don't know it's the same product, but sell it at different price levels where you can see if there's resistance to a particular price range. I see a lot of people, or actually I hear a lot of people, that after they've done their testing, they found that they left a lot of money on the table by not testing their prices. So that's another piece of your offer. Let's see what else. So you've got your deliverables, you've got your price of the offer, you've got your guarantees. What else do we have as far as offers? Oh, we've got comparisons. Whenever you're doing an offer, you want to compare it to something, like a price comparison. Like you'll notice, in my ACT offer, I say you want to. This is also called reducing it to the ridiculous. You want to break it down to a ridiculous level. Like you want to say, this is only going to cost you X amount per day. So when I broke out the cost of the ACT program, I broke it down to like $1.36 a day. I said, this is all this program is going to cost you is $1.36 per day to get in. And then I do a comparison of that, of what could you buy for $1.36 a day. So I'm showing them the value of what I'm offering in comparison to what else they could use that money for. That's a very powerful thing, because what it does, it takes a concern of the head of this big chunk of money, and it breaks it down into a ridiculous value. You can say, what else could you do for $1.36 a day? And I actually say in several of my webinars, I say, you could get a couple bites of a Big Mac, for a few bucks more, you could get the whole thing. But it makes it ridiculous. It makes the offer like you would be a fool to pass it up for that price.
Hey, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're doing that kind of a comparison thing, would that be something that you would put in your headline or down in your, like if I'm doing a Facebook ad and I want to say for only $37, the cost of a meal at so-and-so, journal.
Yeah, I generally would not put price in the headline, because the reason being is when they see a price, they're going to make a judgment.
Okay.
And you haven't had a chance to build the value yet.
So where would I stick something like that? Once they click to my website, they would see that, or the landing page?
This is in the offer. Basically, I'm discussing the pieces of the offer, and that's where you put that, is in the offer.
So that would be, okay. So if I have that as a lead, if that's my thing I'm selling on Facebook and that's the offer, would that be the written text underneath the headline?
Well, I think you're confusing the offer with the promise.
Okay.
Generally in the front, it's going to be more of a promise. You're making a market promise of a result. So in your ad and in your headline, that's really going to be related to the promise of what you're going to ultimately deliver for them.
So that's after they click it and they go to the landing page. That's where that.
Yeah, and that can be a continuation of the ad itself.
Okay.
Because a lot of times in the ad itself, you'll be making reference to a promise.
Okay.
Like learn this particular whatever it is so you can get the benefit.
Because
That's
I
a
know those,
promise.
yeah, I know those pieces, but it's kind of like, I think a template of like, this is where like we did the promise, this is where you stick it.
Mhm.
And then once they click it, this is where this piece is that you're talking about. Because when I hear you, having these discussions, I think, where does that go in my steps of,
Yeah, there is what you're talking about in the workbook. When you get into the copy section of the workbook, there's a template of a sales page there. And it's marked off where it's got like the eyebrow at the top, and then it's got the lead in, and that's kind of an outline template. Maybe I need to like break the pieces up a little bit more and label them a little bit better.
so that would also be what we're calling a landing page. The sales page is your landing page.
Yeah. Yeah, the landing page, what the copy is that I provided is considered the lead, which is like the first 500 words of your landing page. And that's the stuff that really pulls them in and compels them to consume the rest of the copy.
I think that what I find when I'm doing the workbook, because I literally watch your video, have the online workbook page up, then I'm not really sure where the video and what page in the workbook are kind of correlating with each other.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure that we really define the pages as they relate to the videos.
I think that if we could, that would be extremely useful for,
Yeah, we might be able to reverse engineer it. I know the videos were done before the workbook.
yeah,
So the workbook was kind of a compilation of the videos. So they are all based on the videos.
yeah. Some of them, there's some that I'm not finding, the wordage you use doesn't match up with the workbook page and the copy, and so I get a little like, what is this?
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the same thing. It's like if I were to go back and do each one of those videos over, they would probably be completely different too.
Yeah, right. Well,
And
you know,
especially, as we go on, I'm learning more and more about better ways to bring this stuff across for you guys and how to teach it. So
sure.
I'm
Well,
sure at some point I'll go back and redo them and they'll be even better.
yeah, well, no doubt, no doubt. So your version 2 could be. So, okay, I don't have my book here with, oh, yeah, it's online. So I'll go and look for that page, because I think part of what when I look at the theme forest that I download in my WordPress,
Uh-huh.
and then my ClickFunnels, like that whole technology part of how they all marry together, I
Okay.
get a little bit stumped on that. So,
Well, let me just kind of clear that up with Theme Forest. What you're in Theme Forest looking for is you're just looking for a template of the way you want the site to look, like the look and feel. Now, the look and feel should support your brand. Whatever your brand is, like when you create your brand, you're creating not only just a logo, you're creating a feel. You're creating a color palette that will relate to you. So when somebody sees the logo and the color palette and in your wording, they'll relate that to your brand. So when you're in Theme Forest and you're looking for what do I want my site to look for, what I want it to look like, you're basically sidestepping going through the process of hiring a designer, which can be very costly and can take quite a bit of time and go back and forth. And in Theme Forest, you've got top designers that have already done this for hundreds of clients, and they're basically putting up a palette of an unlimited amount of different styles they've already created. So you can kind of browse through there and say, wow, that looks like a great style for my brand.
okay.
So in Theme Forest, that's really what you're looking for. It's just it's the canvas for which you're going to lay everything in your business on top of. It's going to
Okay.
be your look. It's like, Eldana, she's the woman in blue.
Yeah.
Everything she does about her brand is blue. So, she would go into Theme Forest and look for a theme that looks really nice that is in blue. She wouldn't go for a yellow theme or an orange or a pink or a red. She's going to go for blue because it supports her brand. She has spent a lot of time and effort creating that association of blue with herself and her brand. So that's what you want to make sure that you do, is you come up with not only a logo that represents you, but also a look and feel that when people see it, they will instantly know that's Cheryl's brand. So when they look at it, that it will just look and feel like you.
Okay.
And you create that. Just because you pick it doesn't mean that it's all automatically created. You create that when you bring it across and you bring people to it, and you keep exposing them to it, they will eventually realize. It's like when you go into the store and you see, Crest or Colgate, you can see a piece of the logo and you know what it is, because you're associated with that brand.
Okay.
And same thing with you. Like like when they see your color scheme, even if your logo's not there, they should associate that with you. So anything you can do that is unique to your brand is a good thing. So that's what you're doing in Theme Forest. You're really just looking for what do I want to look like, Make yourself pretty. You're gonna pick you're gonna pick your palette there. And then ClickFunnels is more of a functionality thing. You can take that palette that you picked and you can transition that. You can take ClickFunnels and you can customize it to look like whatever you want it to look like. And it's a good idea to make that flow through. Like if you're using ClickFunnels or you're using Infusionsoft or whatever you're using to build your technology, bring that theme into it. Make sure that matches up and flows through. So, and some people are using lead pages, some people are using Infusionsoft, some people are using ClickFunnels. It really doesn't matter what you use to accomplish the goal. Whatever you're most comfortable with is fine. If you don't have anything, I always recommend that you use ClickFunnels, because we use it a lot. It's easy to use and we can support it because, we're using it all the time. So it's easy for us to support. But like I said, if you've already got something and you're comfortable with it, you know how to use it, then by all means, you want to use that. Because all we're trying to do, we're just trying to accomplish, a basic thing. We're trying to put a landing page up that will take an opt-in and put somebody into our mailing list. And again, you can use whatever mailing list software you're familiar with. If you use MailChimp, if you use Aweber, if you use Infusionsoft, it really doesn't matter as long as the goal is accomplished by delivering an email sequence to follow up. Also, retargeting. Doesn't matter what retargeting platform you use. Some people will use Facebook retargeting. Some people will use AdRoll. AdRoll is like a combination. AdRoll will not only retarget you in Facebook, it will also retarget you on outside networks. So it's a much more powerful platform. A lot of times people will start out with Facebook and they'll use that to do their initial retargeting. And then they find there's a much bigger world to retarget on than Facebook. Because if you've got somebody that you flagged in Facebook for retargeting and they're only in there a limited amount of time, you could not have the ability to retarget them again on Facebook if they're not in Facebook very often. So it's a good idea when you're retargeting to go to a broader audience. You want to make sure that you're retargeting on the Google ad network as well. You want to make sure that, an AdRoll has a combination of ad networks that they can get for you in one control panel. So that might be a better ultimate solution. As far as the tech stuff, it's, we're happy to support you on the tech stuff wherever you are, but you need to kind of bring those problems onto this call when you have them, because there's no way for me to just do blanket tech talk, not knowing where you're stuck. But if you guys are stuck, let me know. In fact, if you've got something that you want to specifically cover, let me know like the week before the call so we can be prepared for it. And if I need to bring somebody else in to actually walk you through it, I can do that. You know, like if you are stuck on something with Infusionsoft, then, you know, we can ask Justin because he's an Infusionsoft expert. We can ask him to be on the call to do a demonstration and walk you through what you need. You know, we've got Thomas if you need anything that has to do with autoresponders and ClickFunnels, and we know what the problem is, we can be prepared and we can do a run through and show you exactly how to do it. So do take advantage. You know, this is the third week on the call. That's for anything to do with copy and tech. And so if you've got stuff to review, this is the call to do that on. Like if you want us to review your copy, look at headlines, help you, you know, create that or choose, you know, do A/B tests with us, definitely take advantage of that for sure. And then next week we're going to be on again with traffic. And I just had a pretty good conversation with Anthony this morning about traffic and what we're putting together. We're actually in the process of trying to create a new lead network that will be available to you guys as well, outside of Facebook and outside of pay-per-click, and it's basically direct leads. So if any of you guys are interested in that, that's something that will be forthcoming. So as soon as we get the details of it lined up. We're also working on putting some packages together for people that don't want to do their own Facebook ads. You know, if you guys just want to farm that out, we're working on, you know, putting some base packages together to get that done for you if you want to do that. Otherwise, you know, we can walk you through, like next week, we'll look at ad targeting, how to create, or actually how to spy on some of the competitors and find out what their audiences are, because that's a key thing in Facebook, is creating those audiences, getting your ads out to the right audiences. That's kind of the key thing for that. So I don't want to get into like stealing the thunder of next week's call, but that's what will be coming up for that. So tell me where you guys are at. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Could you please, I'm woefully behind everyone, but could you please do a summary of, once again, this is a fabulous tutorial, fabulous. Could you please do a summary of what the offer has? I understand, you know, the two key places to conversion, headline and offer. I understand headline, but could you just, I got a little mixed up on the top 5, you know, the laundry list of everything that could be in an offer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me actually go back and open up the PowerPoint, and that way I'll make sure I don't miss anything.
Okay.
Because yeah, the offer, that is really kind of one of your big things to get right. So we want to make sure
it's like the main course, right?
yeah. Because everything else, like I said, you can have poor sales copy. If you have a strong offer, the offer is still going to get the conversion.
That's a huge relief.
Yeah. That's why I said, you know, I see a lot of people that are actually toiling with the whole copy thing, and it actually prevents them from even moving forward. And we've got to get it over that. Got to get beyond that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can find the right one here. Okay, I got it. It's the irresistible offer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll go back here and share my screen so you can see it. Okay, can you guys all see that now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the offer components. You have the offer type, you have the deliverables, the contrast. The contrast is what I was talking about of this is only $1.36 a day and what else you could get for that. You have the price and the terms. Actually, terms is something I forgot. And what you get with terms is like if it's available in payments, or if it's just, buy it now, it's a buy or die, this is the price, that's it, there's no terms. Sometimes it might be a dollar trial where they try it for $1 and then 30 days from now they'll get charged the rest. That's your price and your terms. And then you've got guarantees, which we covered the guarantees.
Mm-hmm.
You've got bonuses, scarcity, and I didn't cover scarcity. Scarcity can come in a couple different ways. Scarcity can come and there's only a certain number of them available. Scarcity can also come in a time. This is only available for the next 30 minutes. So you've got those two kinds of scarcity. And then you've got the close, which really is the final call to action. It's kind of the final summary of here's what you get, here's what it's going to do for you, here's the price. Take advantage of the offer now. I'll see you on the other side. Looking forward to, to helping you get your outcome here. So here's the offers, the offer types. There's hard offers, there's soft offers. And again, what you probably want to do is go back and watch this video, because I go through all of this on the video of what these all mean. There's there's exclusive offers where this is only available to this group of people right now. There's the one-time offer, where generally a one-time offer will be available only to somebody that purchases. Like if you purchase the product now, you'll get the ability to work with me as a private coach. You won't be able to get that if you don't have the base product. That's like a one-time offer. And also the application, this is a really cool one. I actually like this for high-end offers. And it's kind of a scarcity thing, and it's kind of also a risk reversal thing, and it's also a takeaway. Because when you do an application, you say, look, here's the offer, but I'm not just taking anybody. You have to actually apply before we decide if we're going to take your order. So it's got a lot of stuff to it. There's a lot of psychology behind that application offer. And the way you do the risk reversal is you say you put down a certain amount, and then we're going to have a private conversation to make sure that we're a good fit. And if we are, then that deposit is placed forward toward your purchase price. And if either one of us decides at any time during the conversation that it's not a good fit, we just refund your money. It's 100% risk reversal. So that's the way the application works. Okay, deliverables. This is where you're going to do a list of exactly what they get. Here's where you can list the features. Again, I'm not that big on features. I prefer more to go for the benefits. But sometimes you're going to have features that make sense depending on what you're offering. Like a feature might be that it comes in a video course. So that's a feature, and that's important to know how it's going to be delivered. That's where a feature would be beneficial. But more beneficial than that is the benefits of what you're going to get out of that course. So again, dimensionalize the benefits. Okay, so this is just examples of that. Okay, here's contrast. This is like also, and I forgot to mention this is also where you can say who this is for. And again, that's kind of a takeaway. Sometimes people react to takeaways. Like you say, this is not for you if you're not serious about your business. So that's kind of a takeaway. Somebody might say, well, I'm serious about my business, so you're not going to tell me I can't have this because I'm not serious enough, and that will push them over the edge. Again, that's kind of a psychological warfare game, but that's kind of sometimes the games we play in marketing. So you can say what the thing isn't, what it doesn't do, what it doesn't have. Like if you're selling a washing machine, you might say, this isn't something that picks up your laundry out of your bedroom and puts it in the machine. And again, that's making it ridiculous. By saying that, you're saying it does everything but that. You're saying that everything is included except for this thing isn't going to fold the laundry and put it back in your drawer. So it's a factor of making it ridiculous, why you shouldn't have it. And damaging admissions. This is a really powerful thing. Damaging admissions is when you admit that there was a flaw. You admit that you made a mistake. You admit something was wrong and you found it and you fixed it. So, like for the ACT program itself, I used the damaging admission of the first time I delivered the ACT program. I thought it was a winner, but nobody could actually do it. Nobody could accomplish the goal. So that was a damaging admission on my part, that I didn't have it broken down in good enough steps and action steps that someone would be able to actually do it without me standing at their side. So within that damaging admission, you also find that I found the flaw and I fixed it, and that adds to the benefit that you're going to get out of the program. So that's where you want to use damaging admissions. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't. Here's just the doesn't stuff. Doesn't have an easy button. Doesn't make you rich with no effort up front. When you're making these kind of statements, they're based on the ridiculous. Other things, you want to make sure you say it's not a get rich quick scheme. That implies that it's real. That's what that's doing. It's implying that it's real and it's not a fantasy. Because when people see something that's too good to be true, it's really difficult to convince the head that it's real. And the head is the only thing standing in the way of the heart getting what it wants. You've appealed the heart with your claim and your promises and your, the benefits, the outcomes, but now you've got to convince the head. So convincing the head is easy if you know the objections. Because the head's going to be looking for stuff because it knows there's no get-rich-quick scheme. It knows that doesn't exist. It's tried it before. It's got experience, real life with that. So when you come right out front and you say, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, you're appealing to the head.
John?
Yeah.
So is the offer like 70%, 80% for the head because the headline's for the heart?
Yes. The offer really is to reiterate and convince the head one last time before the sale is made. So yeah, when we get to the offer, it's all about convincing the head. You want to, as much as possible, though, keep the heart engaged, though. That's where the benefits come in. The benefits are part of the offer. So you're really coming down to this boiling point where everything has to happen at once. So it's like a summary of everything. Your offer is a summary of everything with one final call to action. So price and terms, we kind of covered that pretty well. Trivializing the price, that's what it's called, less than a cup of coffee a day. Establish massive value compared to the price. That's all good stuff. Okay, so here's the guarantees, the risk reversals, if you will. And there's a number of guarantees. Now, a lot of people think that they have to pick one, and that's the worst thing that you can do. the more guarantees that you have, the better off that you are. So you might have a conditional guarantee. What a conditional guarantee is, that says, if you buy this can of 30 diet pills, I want you to take it for 30 days. If at the end of 30 days you didn't lose the weight that I promised, we're going to give you 100% money back guarantee. So what that is, that's a combination of a conditional and a money back guarantee. So you combine these. So conditional, unconditional is, if you buy this bottle of pills for any reason, I don't care what the reason is, I'll give you 100% of your money back if you decide in 30 days it didn't work for you. So unconditional means you don't even have to take them to get your money back. I'm not putting a condition upon the return. So when you can do unconditional, they're much stronger. Usually when people do conditional guarantees, they're looking to not guarantee anything at all, because they know generally 99% of the people aren't going to follow the conditions, so they won't be due a refund. So unconditional guarantees are way stronger. There's the X times your money back. The price match, this is a cool one. This one basically says, if you find this in the next 30 days somewhere else cheaper, then we'll refund the difference. So it's a price match guarantee. And when you're dealing with, like, if you're in e-commerce and you're selling commodity products that are sold by everybody, that's a big one, because they think, wow, if I buy that thing for $100 today, what if I see it for $90 tomorrow and it's $10 less? And you can just eliminate that objection. That's what a price match is. Unique guarantees are awesome. That's where I created the shark bite guarantee. And it's kind of humorous. It's like, for any reason in the next 30 days, you decide this program's not for you, all you have to do is call this number and tell us the shark bit it. No questions asked, 100% money back guarantee. People really like that, because another objection of a guarantee is, I won't feel right if I have to call up and I get questioned on why I want the refund. So that's where the shark bite guarantee eliminates that objection. It's for any reason. All you have to do is tell us the shark bit it. No questions asked. Money back, 100% refund on the spot. So you got all these different types. And like I said, the more you can combine these, the better off you are. The keep the product, that one's great for digital products. You can say, if you get a refund, you can keep the products. You don't even have to return them, because obviously there's no way to return a digital product. But the sound of it, it sounds like that's a tremendous value, that you get to keep the product anyway, even though you decided not to take it and you didn't have to pay for it. So that's something to consider. And then bonuses, and like I said, make sure that they're relevant, they fill gaps. Always state the reason that you're including them. That's a big thing. I think a lot of us heard Craig talk about that. There was a study made, when you tell somebody because, it makes them do it way more. It's like when you're asking for something, if you can use the because statement. Like, he used the example of somebody that was in a line of people at a copy machine, and he went to the front of the line. And he says, would you mind that, if I jump ahead of you, because I'm really in a hurry? And because they used the because statement and gave a reason for it, it was a much higher percentage of people that let them do it. So that's something to consider. And then scarcity, you've got the urgency thing, you've got the scarcity, limited number, and then the close. And this is basically in the close is it's like your final argument. It's like in a court case when when the attorneys get to make their final argument, and that's what this is. So you're associating positive outcome with taking action. And I know you guys have all heard this before. They associate the outcome with action takers. The only people that are going to get the result are the ones that are willing to step up and make the investment now. So that can be part of your close. Focus on the after state, the transformation, what they're going to get out of it, what it's going to mean to them. Always use future tense as though it's always happened. It's already happened, rather. So let's see, what else do we have? Here's another contrast technique. Tell them what they'll experience without the product. Like, this is what you can expect if you don't buy the product today. You can expect that tomorrow is going to be just like yesterday. And if they're in a state of disarray and they want out of it, then that's not going to be very appealing. And the only way they can break that cycle is by buying the product. So that's a contrast technique. And then finally, on the final piece of the close, tell them exactly what to do next. Tell them, go ahead and click the button below, fill out your information, put your credit card information in, accept the order, and then tell them exactly what to do. Whatever your process happens to be, just walk them through it. Tell them exactly what to do. So those are pretty much a recap of all the pieces to the offer. And again, I would recommend, go back and watch the video, because I'll go through it in, more detail in the video. But that's kind of a recap on it. So,
Hey, John.
yes.
I have a question about the affiliate stuff. Do you want me to wait until this is over, or ask it now?
No, that's fine. Affiliate is pertinent to this.
Okay. So if we sign somebody up, and you're farming out Facebook or whatever, if they buy the done for you, how does that translate in affiliate
Generally,
for us?
Generally on done for you services, the affiliate commissions will be far less, because there's far less. There's a lot of things getting split up. Whenever you're doing affiliate deals with somebody, the affiliate commissions are going to be usually based on profit. Like when I sell a digital product, I'll give a 50% affiliate commission, because basically we're just splitting the profit, whatever that may be. Now with a done for you service, there may only be like 10% profit in the done for you service. So for the affiliate to expect a massive cut of that isn't realistic, because they would wind up, if we said if there was 10% profit in the affiliate or in the offer itself, and the affiliate said, I need 10% on that, then there's no profit left. So it's generally going to be a profit split. We haven't actually put affiliate programs in place for the done for you services yet, because we haven't really got a handle on what the costs of it are going to actually be for us yet.
Okay. Because I have, well, Andy and Gina were telling me that they had somebody else doing their Facebook ads for them. And so I didn't know how that worked. But I have the lady that sat down with us that one day, she wants to do Facebook ads. And I'm kind of like, I don't know who do I send her to, or?
Yeah, that's what I'm in the middle of working on right now, is putting together, those done for you services and getting all that stuff solidified. And then at that point, I'll be able to say, okay, here's the deal. But for right now, if you've got people that want to do it prior to us having that platform up, we can always put a program together, based on one instance.
Well, she's ready. That gal that we sat down with together, she's ready to go with it. And I thought, well, should I give her a discount and use her as a guinea pig, knowing I'm going to be doing Facebook ads and give her a deal. But I thought, no, no, that's not good. So if you want to put something together, she's ready to go.
Okay. Well, let me know a good time, and maybe what we'll do is you and I can meet first, and then we can, get it roughed out, and then we can meet with her, and I'll see if I can get the deal closed for you. And
yeah, and she might even come back around to some of the done for you part too. She, but definitely wants the Facebook ads. She's hot to go on that.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Thank you. I'll next week when I get up with you, figure out what we can do for her and get going on that. Can I ask one more question? I don't mean to hit this with. So I'm not organized with my website right now. It's still being built.
Okay.
But I want to. I've got my pieces. I've got my my leads all set and done. I've got the journal done. I've got the steps in place. Should I just go ahead and get going on ClickFunnels and try to build it similar to what my website's going to look like if I'm not totally branded yet? Like, how I can't just sit and wait until all those pieces.
It's perfectly fine to create an offer in ClickFunnels without having your brand up.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at Frank Kern, he didn't have a brand up when he started marketing all his stuff. So in that case, he just used a white background.
Okay.
He just used a white background and black text.
Okay.
So it didn't create a brand conflict. You'll never create a brand conflict with white background and black text.
So what does he do with that lead page once his website's done? Does he repurpose it?
Well, what he does with the lead is the lead goes into his database, and then he would send email marketing out to that lead until they would buy or they would die.
That same white page?
Well, basically just send an email.
Oh, okay.
He's sending emails with offers where they're clicking and going to an order page, but yeah, just white pages.
And once I have my website more intact, then I would build a page for the journal that looks appropriate to my website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Try and keep everything within your brand. Whatever your color scheme winds up being, whatever your logo choice winds up being. The more you can get that aware, the more sales you're going to have down the line.
Okay.
The more people will associate you with that product and service.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And as far as like ClickFunnels is really easy to put an offer up. If you got an offer that you want to test, and you don't have your brand up, you can put an offer up really quickly with ClickFunnels, and then you can test some traffic to it and see what happens.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to get started with it, and because I got the pieces ready, so why not, right?
Yeah. Now, one of the things, keep in mind, the education-based marketing systems are best.
Okay.
The worst results you'll get is trying to close a deal too quickly. So if you're going like from Facebook to a page that's selling a product,
oh no,
you're going to get the least results with that.
Right. I've got some free things and then some. Okay.
So use the kind of a good formula for that is figure out, get your timeline and figure out like what are some of the first steps that I could give them something actionable that they could get a positive result and let them experience that.
Okay.
So deliver that first, send them a follow-up email thanking them for downloading it and offering them additional support to make that first step.
Okay.
And in the process of that, tell them that you're excited that they're going to take this first step. And because they've done it and you've done it with them, you're going to give them the next step, tomorrow or the next day. So you're really advancing them forward. And that's the way Eben Pagan did that in his dating stuff. He figured out what they had to do first. He gave them that. They accomplished that. Their confidence is through the roof. And then he gave them the next step. And he gave them the next step. And he really just kept walking them by the hand through the process. And then he finally hit a point where he's like, you know, you guys are awesome. You've got up here. I'm really proud of you. Now, for those of you that want to finish the journey, I've got the program. And they all bought the program. It was a $20 million a year business he built around that funnel. Absolutely awesome. I mean, talk about following the ACT program. He found a profitable market. He identified the avatar exactly, and he created a funnel based on that. And then he drove traffic to it. So
Okay, thank you.
That's the name of the game right there. Okay, anybody else? All right, well, it looks like we will wrap up then if we got everybody up to speed here.
Thank you, John.
Oh, thank you for showing up, and I love the questions, so don't be afraid. Keep the questions coming. That is what makes this valuable. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next week on the traffic call. Oh, Cheryl's got one more here. Go ahead.
Gretchen has her best-selling book today.
Thank you, Cheryl. I should put it in the chat next to it because I have my #1 best-selling campaign going on today. So I would love it if you guys would buy my book.
Oh,
what is
awesome.
it? It's called Your Amazing Itty Bitty Purpose Book. Let me see
one of the itty bitty books.
Yes, and it's on purpose. And I am getting close to the best-selling. So I'm like, I really need your support. Or if you've got somebody in the let me try a chat and see if I can put a link in there for you all.
Yeah, put it in the chat. I'll actually post it on a couple of groups that I'm in and see if
Yay. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this up real fast. Thank you, Cheryl, I've just been so inundated with it all day, actually. I'm pulling it up right now. Let me get this. Okay. I'll give you some language for it. And let me get back in there and see if this posts in there.
Yeah, you just
trying to
get into the chat.
Oh, there's the message. Okay. Okay, so there's a little thing. I hope the link, did the link show up in there?
I've not seen it show up in the chat yet. You might
because in my email, the link shows up. Let me see if I can pull up Amazon real fast and get that link.
I actually don't see anything in the chat. Like you didn't put it in.
Okay, hold on. Let me try this again.
So you might have to hit enter after you paste it in.
Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Okay, there it is.
There you go. So we got it.
It's a long link. I would normally condense it in a little hyperlink because part of that was highlighted in there that would send a link, but it doesn't convert.
Okay.
So yeah, love your guys' support. I'm getting close. Getting close.
Right. Well, I've copied that out. I will go ahead and spread the word for you.
Yeah,
Thank
John.
you.
John,
it's only 99 cents for today only, just the Kindle version. So yeah, thanks, Cheryl.
Yeah, I forwarded Susie's email to John too. I don't know if it takes you to the one link, but John, I just forwarded it to you in case that didn't come through.
Okay. Yeah.
Before she did it.
Yeah, it came through.
Okay. All right. Good luck, Gretchen.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. All right. Bye.
Okay, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.